With James Gunn's Superman now out in cinemas, it is time to rank all the Superman movies with the new movie included. Of course, it's Superman 4 Quest for Peace at last place because this movie is a disaster both in front of the camera and behind the camera. It features a villain that's born from the sun and a strand of Superman's hair that apparently can withstand thousands of tons of steel, yet it can also be clipped with a pair of normal shears. It's just a tragedy that Christopher Reeve's legacy goes out like this. Superman 3 is only slightly better because I do like the climax where he's fighting a doppelganger. Everything else, it is pretty much Superman sidelined and Richard Pryor, of all people, is taking centre stage. Batman v Superman is one of the most frustratingly messy superhero movies of all time. Batman pretty much takes centre stage in this movie, and Superman is a featured extra with just 42 lines, and he gets killed off in just his second movie. I feel like Superman Returns could potentially be one of the greatest Superman movies out there, but in execution it's very shoddy because it's trying to be a direct sequel to the Richard Donner era. Plus, Brandon Routh is a perfectly fine actor, and he's a great Clark Kent. As Superman, not so sure about that. Alright, so after a lot of shuffling around, I have landed on Man of Steel at number 4. I do enjoy a lot of aspects of this movie. It is a very unique Superman movie. You got Russell Crowe, Amy Adams, Michael Shannon. They are fantastic in this movie. General Zod is the best DCEU villain. But pretty much the monosyllabic tone and the melodrama of it all, trying to make Superman like more Batman-esque on the back of the Dark Knight trilogy's success, is really detrimental to the Man of Steel's legacy. And do you really come away thinking you want to be this Superman when he's just so moody, and a lot of his victories are kind of flawed by the fact that there's so much destruction, so much chaos? Now, I think Superman 2 is actually one of the most underrated comic book movies out there. It's got Terrence Stamp as Zod, what else do you need? But I do feel like there's a lot of personal growth around Clark Kent, and I feel like his relationship with Lois is great as well. After a second watch, Superman is definitely the movie that we deserve and need right now. James Gunn brought us a Superman that is optimistic, he's bright, he is portrayed excellently by David Corenswet. He is a hero to aspire to be. The casting is on point. There's so many elements of this new DC universe that I want to see more of. But number 1 is still the Christopher Reeve movie from way back in 1978 because it just has such a charm to it. It establishes the origin story, the growth of Clark Kent, him becoming Superman, and all the while throwing in elements like Lex Luthor, and it still feels very authentic, and it still feels great to the story. It doesn't feel and it still works to the story. It doesn't feel overcrowded, it doesn't feel rushed, it just works so well. And of course, you have the iconic figure that is Christopher Reeve. He is still today the Superman. Everything about this movie is a pillar for the superhero genre.